Oh my god. No, you can't be back in standard. You were always a stride. They can't retrain a stride. No, no, no. You're too expensive. Leave me alone. You can't be back. Don't drain my money. Oh my god. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. How are you back in standard? No.
So, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, but I guess we're doing this.
Well, I better wear some gloves when touching this one. Hey, what's going on, guys? RMZ4 here. Today we are back to talk about Minerva in standard again. Now, I can't even say the word again because I just never wanted to talk about the original, but the new form is intriguing enough that it's definitely worth the discussion. So, I don't really like to talk about these kind of decks. They really draw the wrong audience, if you ask me. So today I got my cameraman here who is a huge Minerva fan to do it.
Yeah, I'm also a huge Genesis fan actually.
Okay, so do you own the $200 statue of Minerva?
I don't, sadly.
I'll end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. So our right deck is exactly the same as before, the original right deck. So why not you tell us about it?
I don't think we covered this deck before, so I'm just gonna be quick.
we've never actually uploaded that deck.
Okay,
so
never mind. First of all, our starter is Radish Rabbit. Our grade 1 is Witch of Frogs Melissa. Our grade 2 is Witch of Ravens Chamomile. And then we have Omniscience Regalia Minerva. So I need to go through all three of them in one way. So first of all, I'll go through these two together since their on-right effect is basically the same. So first of all, Witch of Frogs Melissa. When rolled upon by Witch of Ravens Chamomile, look at the top 5 cards, put 2 cards from among them to your soul and shuffle your deck. Chamomile has the same exact effect, but she must be rolled upon by Omniscience Regalia Minerva in this case. So basically this is a filter because anyone who has played Genesis before in V or in G or back in OG will remember that this deck is based on the soul. So you need to have as much.
Say that again. You're a bit soft, sorry. Can you say that again?
So basically, the whole entire point of playing Genesis is that you are focusing your soul to do a bunch of utility stuff, basically, in this case. So your whole entire focus is to stack as much cards in the soul, except that this time it's a more controlled soul charge.
Oh, like Vanguard 0.
A bit like that.
Vanguard 0 head.
Since you top 5 and then you chuck any 2 you want into the soul. Rather than you just blindly roll upon soul charge 2. You could lose your OT and your triggers there, but it won't happen. It should never happen for the most part. Anyways, the main bulk of these two is what they retrained from the original, which is that back then Melissa and Chamomile in the original was that they will come back when you soul blast them. So the same thing applies over here. So Melissa is when she's soul blasted from your soul, you call to the back row rear. There's no restriction on any phase, but you have to call the back row rear and then you may soul charge 1. But your Vanguard must be Minerva for both of the effects for both Melissa and Chamomile.
Which it will be, right? On
yeah.
3.
Chamomile, no restrictions on when on the phase, but when she's soul blasted, you count plus 1, you call her out to a rear guard circle. So you call her to the front row. I would just say this, that back then we swear by her. We swear by her. Chamomile is a must, is your main win condition in this deck basically. This deck originally. For a good amount of reasons. Because back then, just by soul blasting her, you get 1 extra attack itself. So every counter blast that you had is basically you swear by Chamomile back then. Now they printed this deck a Lito Saru clone, if I were to put it bluntly.
You mean a wrong Argyle clone?
Wrong Argyle? I mean, they're both the same either ways to me. But anyways, moving on, we have now the grade 3 of the right deck itself, Omniscience Regalia Minerva. So, to put it simply, she is the main win con of the deck back then as well. So first of all, continuous. So she has 3 effects. I will break down first of all. So 3 effects. The first effect, continuous, is that if you have a grade 3 regular in the soul, like any grade 3 regular in the soul, she gives the foreign roll plus 5,000 power.
Okay.
I want to just want to let you know that there isn't. Wait, is it grade 3 regular? Sorry.
Yeah, grade 3. Regalia.
No. Sorry, there's no grade restriction on the regular.
Oh.
Any regular in the soul, but in case you're wondering,
The whole right line is
Addition,
Regalia.
Versa, which,
Which means you have to play a grade 3 or grade 4 because those are Regalia.
yes, correct.
That's
Those
a
must.
very interesting way to lock it.
So during your turn, the whole front will gain 5 as long as you're any card regular in the soul itself. So if you play in premium,
Well, good luck. Good luck, premium players.
anyways, the second skill is basically stolen promo TT.
Oh.
So plus 1, look at the top card of your deck, and you may put it into your soul or leave it on top itself. So it's basically relevation. Sorry, Fenrir.
Sorry, Fenrir. Sorry.
Alright, the third effect. This is the one that they directly retrain from the original Minerva itself.
How so?
So at the end of the battle, that she attacked a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. So unfortunately, the opponent must be grade 3 or greater.
Go second.
Call plus 1, soul plus 3. Then choose any card from your hand with Genesis as its only clan and discard it.
Okay.
And then you stand it and it gains drive minus 1.
Okay. That seems fair.
That's it. Yeah. So,
I mean, this is a 2022 card, right? So like,
yeah.
I guess that's alright.
So back then, I would say that this is by far one of the best retrain cards of all time, in my own personal opinion, because it has all the juice from the original Minerva, but probably improved for the whole entire of the series itself. But anyways, so in this context of the entire deck itself, however, the win condition of the deck has also changed because right now we have a grade 4.
Oh, shall we talk about it?
Yes, sure.
Sure. So we will move on with the grade 4 first. So at the grade 4, we obviously play 4 copies of her.
Okay.
I don't think this comes as a surprise to anyone because this is the cross ride in a sense, but it's a very interestingly styled support card. So let's talk about it.
So, continuous, if you have your opponent is grade 3 or greater, it's basically gain lock to going second. She gains all the following effects. So first of all, in the soul itself, should I talk about the first skill itself?
Yeah, just read it.
Okay, the first skill is just continuous during your turn, your whole front gains 10,000 power. That's it.
Cool.
So skip any, they don't have that condition for the Genesis part or the regular part where if you have the regular soul, the whole front gets plus 5. No, the whole front just gains 10,000 power now. Instead. Alright. The second, act in the soul as well.
Okay.
If your Vanguard is specifically Omni-Size Regular Minerva, and then all you need to do is place a card from your hand into the soul and you write this card. You bind this girl, you bind the original grade 3 and then you write the grade 4.
Oh. Okay.
So at the end of that turn, you have to retire her and write back the Omni-Size Regular grade 3. The Omni-Size Regular Minerva itself.
Oh, okay. So it basically forces you back.
Yes,
down.
it forces you
But
back.
because it's in the drop zone, if you can move into the soul, you can just do it again.
Yes.
No, okay. But that's quite easy given the nature of Genesis
I
support
will-
they've been doing.
Alright. And now the third effect is the basically is the same as Minerva.
Okay.
Except that when she attacks, you count plus 1 and so plus 3. And then at the end of the battle, you restand her, but she'll get drive minus 2. So she'll go from triple drive to 1 drive. So what?
Okay, so there's 4 drives total.
Yes.
That's not that bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot to I did not read the full of the egg effect. I totally forgot to mention. Okay, so the full effect of the egg is that if you also did not write as well,
Which
And
you
you-
wouldn't.
as in you didn't write during this turn,
Ah.
like you did not place any card in the right phase. If you place any Genesis, that means any bugger, you, oh she's a Genesis as well, but we'll talk about that. Any bugger that's a Genesis, the whole front will also gain plus 5. So you went from plus 10 to plus 15.
But that's if you did not write this turn.
Yes, you did not write that. If you just do personal right, you just plus 20. If you decide to cheat with Greatest Gradle, your personal right card,
It counts.
it counts as well, so you can get up to plus 25k.
Oh, that's quite effective. But we're not using cup in this list, I see.
We're not using it.
Okay.
Cup is subjective as well because it's also still shieldless card at the end of the day.
Yeah, you have quite a fair bit of shieldless cards from what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Especially when we talk about the grade 3s. In the grade 3 slot, we played 2 Minerva in the main deck, 1 in the right deck, and then 4 copies of Angelica. if I remember her name correctly.
Persona is, for the sake of the reason, Persona. Plus 20k to the front row is not a joke to deal with. As well, given that this deck will be attacking plenty of times due to Kaomao and one other card that we're going to talk about later.
Okay.
So up to 4, 5, 6 times depending on the way you sell your board.
That's right.
So Angelica.
Angelica is one of your original grade 3 Regalias, which is how you
Yeah.
cheat the condition.
She's also a Regalia itself, so she counts for grade 3 Minerva's own effect. And by soul blasting one card, you can choose one of your Vanguard, give it +5, and then you move it to the soul and counter charge 1. So this is your main way of also ensuring that you have enough counter blasters, because you can see this
This
deck.
deck has a lot of counter.
Yeah. So Angelica also does one thing right, which is that she pumps the power of the Vanguard. So you go from 18 to 23, and then if you consider the rate for Minerva now, we go from about
21?
28
28, yeah.
if you didn't ride during the turn, or assuming you didn't check any triggers as well.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, overall, a pretty neat card. Is one of your main combo enablers, because this deck can do up to 6, 7 attacks, or 8 even, if you had to set up.
So let's talk about those combo builders then.
Alright then.
Our grade 2s, we have one copy of Charm of Mao.
No,
that's in the right deck.
Yeah.
And then we also have more.
We have 2
We also have
copies
more.
of
We have
this.
2 copies of Charm of Mao in the main deck,
We have Lugeron,
followed by Luviron at 4, the one
And-
from Alfred. Everyone
yes.
remembers Alfred.
and then 4 BV name.
4 Revenant. She looks like Felty Rosa. Oh
Well-
my. Okay, I better not talk for this deck.
Okay, so first of all, DivineZ is a Genesis at all times. As long as your Vanguard is
It's also Genesis.
Genesis, she is
Genesis.
Yes, that's right. I know it sounds confusing, but there of us here. So
It's a modern Genesis card basically.
Auto, when she's placed on Regalia Circle, you can pay 1 counter blast to draw 1 card and choose 1 card from your drop and place it in the soul. If your Vanguard is Minerva,
Which it is.
you can pay the cost with 3 energy. And then when your Vanguard with Minerva, so again, sorry to any Fenrir players who are planning to buy it to chuck it to your strike deck sets soon.
Uh-oh.
The second effect is locked with
Minerva.
as well. So when your Minerva Vanguard attacks, if she did not stand by a card effect this turn, count +1 and stand in.
She gains 5.
She gains 5.
So
And-
they basically just printed Minerva Rock Girl. So you don't even need to do the combo. You just call this card, it's done.
yeah, but at the same time, this does limit you to only 5, 6 attacks, which for some people it could be good, some people it could be bad.
I think what's most interesting is that technically you can still play the first skill in Fenrir in the future because it's technically a better Gallatin. It's just that the strongest part of this card, which is your Rock or Girl clause, is locked down.
Yeah, so
I think this is still 100% must play for Minerva at 4, but for Fenrir in the future, you can lighten off the drugs.
alright, so in order to combat the fact that we're playing so many shieldless cards, we play Luviron, our personal shield cycler. I'm not going to elaborate too much on him. except
You
that-
can check the links description for the Alfred video. That video will cover this card. But basically, just know we're playing it for shieldless cards, and also because we have extra soul.
Yes, correct. And lastly, depending on your build, I'm going to say first, there is no definitive correct Minerva build at all.
Not yet, unless you can do it today.
Okay, some people, I didn't really bring the cards, but there are some other cards as well that Minerva can play, like Scotty, if you want to. You can also play a promo that they printed back then, Say Sus,
Yes.
but I will not elaborate on the skill. You can ask about it, but I'm not going to elaborate on the skill. But basically, the reason why we're playing extra combo is also because we want to play with the combo to a certain degree, and it's a card with Genesis is card name as well. So in case you would miswrite, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
She is the backup, and if I don't have DivineZ, she is also another backup as well in this case.
That's very fair. Moving on to our grade 1s. Our grade 1s, we play one copy of Witch of Frogs, Melissa. She's from the right deck, so again, you should already know who she is.
And
the rest of the grade 1s.
3 of her.
Oh, we also play 3 in the main deck, because she super calls herself back, right?
Yes, correct. And 4 Fufupri.
Fufupri is basically a really good card. It is a Vibatsuka, and then it also trains a Genesis card from your drop back to the hand, so it's a grid shade. We all know how I feel about grid shade. We play 3 Koko.
Yes.
Koko is also a returning friend from the Chaos Knights Alfred deck profile, so check that out.
3.
Basically, it has soul synergy and it has top deck synergy, so why not? For
3
PG,
Yeah.
One Sanctitude. Sanctitude we can play because Minerva is a temporary grade 4. She doesn't stay on grade 4.
Yes.
So goodbye, Pure Ignis.
Alright, so let's talk about why
And the triggers.
triggers.
Yeah.
Triggers. Okay. So for this case, we play 3 fronts and 8 crits and 4 heals because
Yeah, because it's a Vanguard restand deck, so pretty easy.
and of course we want to have relish. Okay,
So that wraps up the deck profile. It's a very short deck profile because the list is actually really simple. The problem lies in the minute details, which is the few options you really pick along the way, right?
Yes, correct.
So why not you tell us the idea, the philosophy behind what you chose into putting into
Okay.
the you know
so
the non-orthodox slots.
Okay, so let's start with the ground up first. The problem with this deck, first of all, so back then, when you're just playing Grade 3 Minerva, you only just need to get up to the right up beat. You just need to play Persona right, you just need to get through all of the stuff. You just need to focus on the combo as well, mainly the counter mouse and the soul. Now, however, the problem is you need to get Grade 4 Minerva into your soul. And let me just say this, there's thousands of ways to somewhat do it in this deck, and none of them are consistent.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them is consistent. You can whip the top 5, you can whip your Coco, you can whip your DivineZ, anything goes. So,
Which is why you need to play it at max copies, because you just need to up the rates of you being able to fight.
yes, so please do not ever play this at less than 4. It is a very risky move. I know the card is bricky, I know the card having access in your hand can suck sometimes, but please know one thing, with zero consistent way of getting Minerva, Grade 4 Minerva into your soul, you best play it at max.
I mean, it's basically the Ezel problem, right? Ezel 2 is also from this exact same set and has no Surger, which automatically means you have to play the max copies. If not, you just cannot consistently get a game plan. It is the same for Nebula Knights, the same for Minerva. They all suffer from the same issue. Strangely, they all come from the same set.
The only reason why you can still see Minerva having results is because of her pressure.
Yeah, she has high numbers fast.
She has high numbers fast. The problem lies in the defense at the end of the day. Like, I'm gonna say this right now, even you play the likes of maximum Biscotti, maximum Luveron,
Maximum Spiral QT, everything on the defense.
you will lose.
You will still suffer quite a fair bit.
You will still lose some games because of the fact that, oh, I didn't draw this piece, oh no, I didn't manage to soul charge the Grade 4 Minerva.
Yeah.
It will happen.
It will happen. It will.
It will happen. It is not a... And when that happens, this is the reason why I also covered the Grade 3 Minerva, even though, technically speaking, they do the same thing, but why still cover this card in the first place? And
Because there are chances where you only get to Persona right or stay on the Grade 3 Vanguard and you have to play on.
Yes, correct.
You don't get to say, I quit.
Yes.
You don't get that option, mate.
And so, the thing I want to stress is that you need to know how to use the Grade 3 Minerva as well, effectively. This
But
is the main...
most Minerva players will know that, right? Because you've had this card for 3 years now.
Yes.
So like, if you don't know how to use it, then we have a different
There's people
problem.
who are new to this, to the
I
deck
mean, of
as
course,
well.
if you're new to the Minerva deck, you now have 2 layers to learn. You have to learn the original deck and the modern deck, right? So
Yes, so you need to learn
it's a
how
learning
to
curve there.
So yeah, Minerva is not an easy deck, and they have upped the skill of the deck screamingly. Like the things she do, the numbers she hits, the stuff that she has is up, but skill ceiling is higher as well.
So if you could conclude by giving Minerva players some tips, what would that be? Like just in general, besides playing 4 Minerva.
Okay, so first of all, you need to consider what else this deck ends on as well. So Minerva compensates her poor early game and poor hand size. I think you can kind of tell why she has poor early game and poor hand size as well. There's no
That's pretty evident.
there's no drawing in the early game. You're not doing, unless you decide to be some other players and play Keep the Power. I mean, you can, but just
But that will break your consistency for the Genesis cards.
Yes, but the main problem is that you don't have much early game, you don't have much draw power in the early side. But what she compensates by is the fact that some of the cards, like Melissa, is free to call. So what she compensates by is that
The board presence.
The board presence. Her turn 3 board presence is one of the strongest by far, which is the reason why you can see Minerva back then in 2022 and especially after this Grade 1 support.
Right, in BT11.
Especially in BT11, she was starting to top a bit more because her board building and then her recursion and then all of the other stuff like the combo where you can do up to 6, 7, 8 attacks made her a very, very strong contention.
I mean,
So
you want
she-
to talk. You almost won WGP. You were one win away with Minerva back in 2023. So like, come on, like you would know this shit, man. Like,
So yeah, the main thing I have to say is that you need to watch your resource. Because of this, the key to really mastering Minerva is two things. One is knowing when to commit, and the other is to watch your resource, because you need to know when you can just put on pressure. At the end of the day, yes, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 8 attacks sounds
Sounds
very,
good.
sounds scary, but you gotta remember, or your counter blast is at risk, which is why you must also use Angelica.
it's a must.
It's a
Because
must.
it feeds your resource back. Even if it's taking up the Vanguard slot, you need it.
Based on some of the lists I've also seen, some of them play 3, which is also fine. But regardless of which, please play 3.
Okay.
Copies
You know
at
what?
least.
That's very fair. Thank you so much for your insight. I would only have done this deck profile with you, very honestly. If not, I would just never have done this deck profile. But having someone who not only plays this deck at the virtually highest level, but also has a real passion about this deck, as clear from the amount of money you've spent on your high res. Yeah, I thank you so much for coming up and giving us the chance to share your knowledge. Thank you all so much for watching. Anything you want to say before we conclude?
I hope we don't have a trial soon.
Alright. I'll see you next time, buddy. Take care.
Alright, bye.